2 years ago, President Traore of Burkina Faso made a profound statement. He said, "Soon the factories will rise." This word of prophecy is now being fulfilled in Burkina Faso. Just last month, we celebrated Burkina Faso's first tomato factory. And now, we are celebrating the rise of another factory, the Burkinabe Gold factory. Now, not only has Traore launched the gold factory, but the factory is now operational and has produced Burkina Faso's first locally made gold bars. What a remarkable achievement! How many African countries blessed with gold resources can boast of this? But how did Traore achieve this? Let's find out. If you have been following Ibrahim Traore from day one, you would notice that one thing he values above everything else is the sovereignty and complete independence of his country. And since he assumed power, he has taken several actions to place Burkina Faso on the path of complete independence. Aside from kicking out French troops and ending military cooperation with its former colonial master France, thereby granting military sovereignty to Burkina Faso, Captain Traore has also strived to ensure that Burkina Faso has monetary and economic sovereignty. This is why on January 23, 2024, Captain Traore, the president of Burkina Faso, inaugurated the first waste processing plant for mining residues. This marked a significant development in the management of mining byproducts and aimed to create a value chain that generates opportunities around its extractive industry. The inauguration of the facility in the Kosoto Industrial Zone, just east of the capital Ouagadougou, was attended by President Traore. During the ceremony, Traore proudly stated that the machines to process the mines were entirely constructed in Burkina Faso, emphasizing the nation's ingenuity. In his own words, "I can confirm without fear of contradiction that Burkina Faso is the second country in Africa to develop this technology." He commended what he called the Burkinabe Revolution behind this technological achievement during the inauguration of the mining waste processing facility. President Traore also added that the opening of the factory was all part of his plan to have Burkina Faso manage its own resources. He then invited other African states to bring their own mining waste to Burkina Faso because we have the technology to process. According to Joachim Marie Emmanuel Tapsoba, Chief Executive Officer of Golden Hand, the company that operates the plant to extract metals from the residues, local experts were the ones who developed the plant to process residue from the country's gold mines. He also stated that the establishment of the plant is designed to allow Burkina Faso to process on-site and have full control of the waste. According to reliable sources, the waste plant will be 40% owned by the state and 60% owned by the company Golden Hand South Africa. Facing the media and speaking regarding the waste plant, the Burkinabe Minister of Mines expressed his satisfaction, stating that, "Our country has clearly decided to assert itself and fully assume its sovereignty in all areas, with a particular emphasis on the mining sector. It has therefore become an urgent necessity to find endogenous ways and means to recover, as much as possible, the metals contained in mining residues." Before we proceed, here is a reminder to like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to our channel so that you can get more videos like this. Now, 1 year after the inauguration of the plant, the Burkinabe waste plant, Golden Hand, has now produced the country's first gold bars. The gold bars were produced from processing mining residues known as fine coal, previously abandoned at the Essakane mine. Fine coal is the leftover material after the extraction of gold, which still contains a considerable amount of gold. The Burkinabe waste plant was able to process the fine coal to produce about 44 gold bars weighing 93.197 kilograms, which was handed to the Economy Ministry. The Burkinabe Prime Minister Emmanuel Ouedraogo accepted the bars on behalf of interim leader Ibrahim Traore in Ouagadougou, the country's capital. Speaking at the event, the Burkinabe Prime Minister Ouedraogo stated that the outcome exemplifies the government's vision of fostering wealth creation through local mining expertise, ensuring what he termed endogenous and sustainable socio-economic development. He added that there are plans to process more than 298 additional tons of residue to further bolster the gold reserves. In outlining the strategic shift, the Prime Minister stressed that fine coal from Burkina Faso would no longer be processed abroad. Joachim Marie Emmanuel Tapsoba, the General Director of Golden Hand SA, explained that the extraction of gold from these remnants uses environmentally friendly, cutting-edge technologies. He stressed that the delivery of this initial batch reflects the government's dedication to serving the people. What remarkable news! But what is the implication of the Burkinabe mining waste facility? Right now, each of the 44 gold bars carries the official seal of Burkina Faso, signifying a symbol of economic independence and national pride. The gold bars have been stored in a secured facility, and with more production of gold bars, Burkina Faso will have enough gold to back its economy. By holding gold reserves, Burkina Faso can hedge its economy against external monetary influence, especially from the CFA franc. Now, if you can recall, there have been talks by the AES countries about creating a new currency to displace the CFA franc, which is a colonial relic. Although not much has been said about the currency, we speculate that Burkina Faso is preparing itself for a transition to a new currency by accumulating gold bars. You see, under French influence, Burkina Faso and the other countries didn't even have their own central banks. France made it in such a way that they had to depend on the Central Bank of West Africa, which everyone knows is simply an extension of the Bank of France. And let's not forget that Burkina Faso and Francophone countries are required to keep half of their reserves in French banking institutions. However, as we stated earlier, President Traore is determined to liberate his country and his people from the influence of France over its monetary system, and this is why he recently established Burkina Faso's very own Treasury Deposit Bank. This was why Traore officially inaugurated Burkina Faso's Treasury Deposit Bank last year, at its headquarters within the public treasury in Koulouba. The establishment of this treasury bank is a bold move that signifies that the country is on a path to reclaiming its monetary sovereignty. By creating this bank, Burkina Faso will no longer have to depend on the Central Bank of West African State, which is a colonial relic, to store its reserves or regulate its monetary and financial system. With this treasury deposit, Burkina Faso will no longer have to deposit 50% of its reserves in a French bank. The Treasury Bank is designed to provide accessible banking services to all citizens with a network extending through regional, provincial, and departmental treasuries to ensure that everyone, regardless of location, can access these services. But that's not all. The Treasury Deposit Bank will also cater to a wider range of clients, including public institutions, state companies, local authorities, international organizations, NGOs, and private businesses. Its primary mission will be to manage the banking functions of the public treasury, offering services like account management, resources collection, and transaction processing. In addition, the Treasury Deposit Bank will introduce digital payment methods and develop innovative banking services to meet the evolving needs of its customers. The fact is that the establishment of the Treasury Deposit Bank empowers Burkina Faso to conduct financial transactions independently, bypassing the need to go through the Central Bank of West African State, thereby eliminating any potential interference from France. Depending on the Central Bank of West African States has allowed European countries such as France, which lacked gold mines, to accumulate gold reserves, which were plundered from African countries with gold through European gold mining companies. These foreign companies extract vast amounts of gold from Burkina Faso and other African countries blessed with gold resources at a very cheap cost, and without giving back to these countries, not even in terms of tax revenues. This is the reason why Captain Traore has taken the initiative to reclaim control over Burkina Faso's gold. A waste mining facility is one way Traore has reclaimed control over Burkina Faso's gold. Now that the facility is in operation, Burkina Faso will be able to store the gold in its Treasury Deposit Bank. This is remarkable. But what other steps has Traore taken to reclaim his country's gold? Well, as you know, Burkina Faso is currently ranked among the top gold-producing countries in Africa. Not surprisingly, gold is the country's leading export product, accounting for 37% of total exports as of 2020. Gold mining is also the country's main source of employment. Of all the gold industrially produced in Burkina Faso, artisanal constitutes half of it, with about 1 million people involved in artisanal gold production. However, like most African countries, Burkina Faso was not in control of its gold resource for the longest time. The Burkinabe Gold industry has been dominated by Western gold mining corporations such as London-listed Endeavour Mining, Australia-based West African Resources, Russia's Nordgold, and Canada's Orezone Gold Corporation. It has also been dominated by jihadists who use the proceeds from mining to fund their acts of terrorism. Artisanal mining has made it easy for terrorists and jihadists to take control of several gold mines which they use in fueling terrorism in Burkina Faso. As Captain Traore stated in 2022, a lot of gold leaves Burkina fraudulently, and this moreover helps to fuel terrorism. The ongoing terrorism has in turn led to the closure of 4 industrial mines and the abandonment of nearly 700 gold panning sites in 2022, which has also led to a reduction in the total output of gold produced in recent times. As a result of all this, Traore decided to take a series of steps that would deal with the 2 problems. First, he banned the export of gold in 2023. On Wednesday, 21st of February 2024, Burkina Faso's newly appointed mines minister, Yacouba Zabre, announced that the country has suspended exports of gold and other precious metals by artisanal mining in a bid to better organize the mining sector. This suspension is with immediate effect, and it follows the need to clean up the sector and reflects the government's desire to better organize the marketing of gold and other precious substances. The mines minister didn't say how long the suspension would last, but added that groups who have material to export are invited to reach out to the National Society for Precious Commodities, SONAP, for compensation. This decision by the military government of Burkina Faso is in line with similar decisions made by other African countries such as Zimbabwe and Namibia, which placed a ban on the export of unprocessed minerals, including lithium. By suspending the export of gold, Traore aimed at cutting a major source of funds for terrorists in the country and addressing the challenges faced by the mining sector and enhancing its contribution to the country's economic development. Secondly, Traore launched the construction of Burkina Faso's gold refinery in November 2023. Ismail Sibi, CEO of the refinery's co-managing company Burkinabe Gold, noted that the refinery is designed with a daily production capacity of around 400 kilograms of gold, underscoring the nation's commitment to optimizing its primary mineral resource. According to Sibyl, the first 22-carat gold bars would leave the refinery in 11 months and have the capacity to create 100 direct jobs and 5,000 indirect jobs. During the launch of the refinery, Captain Traore stated that, "There's no longer any question of us taking our gold abroad for refining. We'll refine it on site because we know the real content of the raw gold that comes out. That's very important." The refinery, which is developed in partnership with Burkinabe Gold, a local company, will house a jewelry store and the future headquarters of the Société Nationale des Substances, which oversees the project on behalf of the state. Following the launch, the military government replaced Simon Pierre Boussin, who had been the mines minister with Yacouba Zabre in December of the same year. Thirdly, the government introduced in October 2023 a new gold sales royalty for gold prices above $1,500 per ounce, which marks a direct change from the previous flat 5% royalty it applied between $1,300 and $1,500 per ounce. Finally, to wrest control of the gold mines from terrorists, Traore launched a massive military attack to take complete control of these gold mines. One such operation was carried out in the Djibo Greenstone Belt, located in northern Burkina Faso. This region is one of Burkina Faso's geological marvel of importance, characterized by its ancient rock formation and holds significant mineral resources, particularly gold. The presence of such mineral resources in the Djibo Greenstone Belt makes it a key area of interest for mining companies and investors, as well as a potential source of economic growth for Burkina Faso. Unfortunately, however, this region has been marred by persistent security challenges. Terrorist groups have exploited the gold resource in this region to fund their activities, creating a complex security environment. The illegal mining operation has not only deprived the state of valuable revenue, but has also contributed to environmental degradation and social unrest. The presence of terrorists has also led to frequent violent incidents, including attacks on mining sites, kidnapping of workers, and extortion of local businesses. This pervasive insecurity has created an environment of fear and instability, deterring legitimate mining companies from investing in the region. The security situation is further complicated by the region's rugged and remote terrain, which provides a natural cover for terrorist activities. So, what did Traore do? Under the leadership of Captain Traore, the Burkinabe military has launched a comprehensive military operation aimed at dismantling the terrorist network and restoring order. In recent times, the Djibo Greenstone Belt has been the focal point of intense military activity as the fight against terrorism hits new heights, both figuratively and literally. The Burkinabe military forces have turned part of the Sahel, including Safan, into a stronghold, making the operation particularly perilous. The air fleet, positioned strategically close to the combat zone, continuously scans the landscape, providing crucial support to ground troops. In one particular operation, Battalions 4, 5, and 6 of the Burkinabe forces secured the center of Commune 6, an area that has been under the control of terrorists since 2019, effectively making it a colony of armed groups. The reconquest of this region marks a significant milestone for Burkina Faso, because before the military took control, the area had been transformed into a haven for stolen heritage, where the local population faced the harsh choice between escape and compliance with terrorist demands. The Burkinabe forces were cautious in their approach, and this approach of the commando units made them aware of potential traps set by the terrorists and ensured that perimeter control was established without incidents, allowing for systematic searches for hidden weapons. The combat, marked by gunshots, tested the reflex of the soldiers and their resilience as the military undertook a high-stakes operation against entrenched terrorist forces in the heart of Burkina Faso. The turning point in the battle came through coordinated efforts and advanced military tactics. The Burkinabe forces, leveraging their strategic planning and modern technology, initiated a series of well-orchestrated moves that shifted the momentum in their favor. One such key move was the use of drones, which played a crucial role in both surveillance and direct combat. Drone strikes were instrumental in neutralizing enemy positions and providing real-time intelligence. These unmanned aerial vehicles scoured the landscape, identifying